Welcome students. Today we'll discuss about Dr. Faustus, written by Christopher Marlowe. Let's start. Dr. Faustus, a talented German scholar at Wittenberg, rails against the limits of human knowledge. He has learned everything he can learn, or so he thinks. All of these things have left him unsatisfied, so now he turns to magic. A good angel and an evil angel arrive, representing Faustus' choice between Christian conscience and the path of damnation. The former advises him to leave off his pursuit of magic, and the latter tempts him. From two fellow scholars, Valdez and Cornelius, Faustus learns the fundamentals of the black arts. He thrills at the power he will have and the great feats he will perform. He summons the devil Mephistopheles. They flesh out the terms of their agreement with Mephistopheles representing Lucifer. Faustus will sell his soul in exchange for 24 years of power, with Mephistopheles as servant to his every whim. In a comic relief scene, we learn that Faustus' servant Wagner has gleaned some magic learning. He uses it to convince Robin the clone to be his servant. Before the time comes to sign the contract, Faustus has misgivings, but he puts them aside. Mephistopheles returns and Faustus signs away his soul, writing with his own blood. The words "Homopheus" appear on his arm, and Faustus is seized by fear. Mephistopheles distracts him with a dance of devils. Faustus requests a wife, a demand Mephistopheles denies. But he does give Faustus books full of knowledge. Some time has passed. Faustus curses Mephistopheles for depriving him of heaven. Although he has seen many wonders, the good angel and evil angel arrive again. The good angel tells him to repent, and the evil angel tells him to stick to his wicked ways. Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Mephistopheles return to intimidate Faustus. He is caught by them and agrees to speak and think no more of God. They delight him with a pageant of seven deadly sins, and then Lucifer promises to show Faustus hell. Meanwhile, Robin the clone has gotten one of Faustus' magic books. Faustus has explored the heavens and the earth from a chariot drawn by dragons, and is not flying to Rome, where the feast honoring Saint Peter is about to be celebrated. Mephistopheles and Faustus wait for the people, depicted as an arrogant, decidedly unholy man. They play a series of tricks by using magic of disguise themselves and make themselves invisible before leaving. The chorus returns to tell us that Faustus returns home, where his vast knowledge of astronomy and his abilities earn him wide renown. Meanwhile, Robin the clone has also learned magic and uses it to impress his friend Rafe and summon Mephistopheles, who doesn't seem to be too happy to be called. At the court of Charles V, Foster performs illusions that delight the emperor. He also humiliates a knight named Benvolio. When Benvolio and his friends try to avenge the humiliation, Faustus has his devils hurt them and cruelly transform them so that horns grow on their heads. Faustus swindles a horse courser, and when the horse courser returns, Faustus plays a frightening trick on him. Faustus enters the Duke and Duchess with petty illusions. Faustus entertains the Duke and Duchess with petty illusions before Robin the clone and his band of ruffians arrives. Faustus toys with them, besting them with magic to the delight of the Duke and Duchess. Foster's 24 years are running out. Wagner tells the audience that he thinks Foster prepares for death. He has made his will, leaving all to Wagner. But even as death approaches, Foster spends his days feasting and drinking with other students. For the delight of his fellow scholars, Foster summons a spirit to take the shape of Helen of Troy. Later, an old man enters, warning Faustus to repent. Faustus opts for pleasure instead and asks Mephistopheles to bring Helen of Troy to him, to be his love and comfort during these last days. Mephistopheles readily agrees. Later, Faustus tells his scholar friends that he is damned and that his power came at the price of his soul. Concerned, the scholars exit, leaving Foster to meet his fate. As the hour approaches, Mephistopheles taunts Faustus. Faustus blames Mephistopheles for his damnation, and the devil proudly takes credit for it. The good and evil angel arrive, and the good angel abandons Faustus. The gates of hell open. The evil angel taunts Faustus, naming the horrible tortures seen there. The clock strikes 11. Faustus gives a final frenzied monologue, regretting his choices. At midnight, the devils enter as Faustus begs God and the devil for mercy. The devils drag him away. Later, the scholar friends find Faustus' body torn to pieces.